Not sure if anyone's actually on, but I am here. Just opening Inkscape. Had some computer trouble, so that's why we're late this evening, but I'm gonna just chill out today. Not gonna do a whole lot of pre-planned stuff. I basically want to do some freestyle nature stuff, so I'm going to draw it first, and then I'm going to actually build it out with some objects and all that. So you should still learn something, learn some shading, learn some design techniques. But other than that, just taking it easy. Alright, here we are. So, as I said today, I'm just going to be chilling. You might hear me do some voice. I don't want to call them impressions, but I'm probably going to do some stuff in my voice today because I'm feeling like blowing off some steam, like you see in the title, having some fun, playing around a little bit. So, look out for that at some point. And I hope that you don't mind if I speak in my native dialect at any point because I feel like being relaxed. So I may actually do that at some point. So for those of you who are not familiar, I'm a Barbadian. I am not from any of the more familiar countries like America, Australia, Europe, England, Canada, etc. So my dialect and my accent may be a little strange, but you'll get used to it. Unless I decide to switch into something a little more familiar. Alright, let me see. My color is not... There we go. Wasn't accurate. Alright, so what I'm going to design first is a scene that I have in mind. Kind of a rough idea, really, at this point. Kind of like a pond with maybe a frog or something in it and some grass. By the way, you can drop suggestions in the chat. And don't forget to share the stream because I just remembered that I forgot to share the stream. So do my job for me. Just give me a second here. Let me actually drop it on Twitter and other places, and I'll be right back. Oh, by the way, I'm still here, and just typing. That's why you weren't hearing me. I completely forgot to share on social media when I went live. I normally have that stuff already prepared and ready to go, but computer trouble today, so that's part of the reason why I want to blow off some steam. Plus, you know, life can be life, so always nice to take some time out and just chill, just relax, all that good stuff. So that's what I'm doing today. Hopefully the music is setting the right mood too, because this is some new music I've never listened to before. I kind of like it so far though, so should be pretty cool. Okay, here we go. Back to Inkscape. So as I said, I'm going to be doing a very basic scene well, I shouldn't say a very basic scene, but it's a scene that I have in mind with some grass and a pond or something. So I'm going to do the rough design first, and then underneath this I am going to put some objects and turn them into the actual thing. So all I'm drawing right now is just a sketch of what I want to have for the final project, and as the stream goes on I'll actually build that out. If I don't finish it today, I'll come back to it later. Now for some fun, I'm gonna probably put something peeking out from in these bushes, so I'll leave some space for that. By the way, just a tip for those of you who are learning design or who are designers, because if you're learning, you are a designer. If you're a designer, one of the really good things to do is to practice just freestyling, no actual goal in mind, just sit and whatever comes to mind, do it. And the reason I say that is because it helps you to build your skills, it helps you to learn new techniques, and it helps you to design on the fly, because that's something that's really important when you're working, whether it's freelance or working at a company or wherever, or even just designing for yourself. It's very important to be able to just jump in and just freestyle. Because like sometimes if a client tells you, I have no clue what I want, but I know that my business does X, Y, and Z, you need to be the one who jumps up and says, you know what, I know what you're looking for. But if you're not accustomed to flexing that muscle, it can be a little bit difficult. Not saying that you can't ever get it done, but it pays to actually flex that muscle a bit and, you know, freestyle on your own, so that when it comes time to be put under pressure, that you're accustomed to just jumping in with an idea. Now some of us are naturally gifted that way. I know I am in terms of ideation. I just come up with ideas at random. You can ask my partner about that. I am pretty crazy with that. You give me one word and I have a million ideas in seconds. But not everyone works that way. So my suggestion is, even if you are that way, I still suggest to do it. But if you're not that way, definitely put in the work of practicing on your own. When you have free time, just sit and draw, whether it be pen and paper or on a computer. Just doodle, just play around, you know. And then there's another benefit to it. It's just fun. It's fun to do. Alright, I think there's enough grass over here, so I'm going to make this corner part of whatever pond this is. Shout out to Raw Decoder, by the way. I wouldn't say learned this technique because I've used it before that, but I was reminded by watching one of her streams to sketch first and then design. I'm one of those people who I tend to jump into everything in life immediately. I will sometimes, like if I'm doing business for instance, because obviously there you can't play around, I usually will take my time and figure out what I'm doing first before I get started. But like if you give me a website to design, I will usually just jump right in. No mock-up required, nothing like that, and I'll still get something pretty amazing done. But I've been seeing the benefit of taking my time and actually you know, like doing mock-ups and planning beforehand. It pays off. Not saying you always have to do that, because some of us are not built that way in our minds, but still a good idea to do that. By the way, if you're enjoying this, again, reminder, share it. Even if you're watching after the stream is done, share the video. One sec, folks, let me just check some audio settings here. Be right back. Oops. You just missed everything that I was saying. Sorry about that. I was just saying that if you weren't hearing the music, my apologies, because I'm using Linux and I use Pulse Audio, and it's very cool, but it's also very complicated, and I forgot to unmute my speaker, so the music is playing through my headset, but not playing through the actual system. It wasn't playing through the system speaker, so that's why you weren't hearing it. But it should be playing now. You should be able to hear it. My sincere apologies for that. Like I was saying earlier though, if you're watching this, please share, put out the bat signal, because I am Batman. See, the thing is, we live in a world where both our cars are totally underwater. Not really, I just had to steal that one from Keiko, but we live in a world where no one sees you unless you actually share and gain some traction and all that stuff. So do all that for me and let some people see this, alright? Now, give me some suggestions if you're able to on the chat, because as I said, I'm actually freestyling, and sometimes when you're freestyling you can hit a block, and I kind of want to make this scene interesting, so you can drop your suggestions in the chat if you want, and let me know what you want to see in this. And for those who are just joining, I am doing a freestyle scene, a nature scene with some animals and stuff in a pond, and I'm also putting something in here peeking out from it, because I like randomness and I like things that shouldn't be there and all that. Yeah, that's me. For no reason at all, I'm going to make this thing in here a little sinister. I have no clue what this is supposed to be, by the way. And that's the thing about freestyling a design, you don't really have to have any actual point to what you're doing. And I sometimes like just being able to fun around with stuff without any real purpose. drop something here and the water's peeking out. For some reason, I like drawing things underwater. I don't really know why. It's just me. And when we actually get to putting color and stuff in this, I'll show you the technique for making stuff look like it's coming out of the water from a perspective like this. It's actually pretty simple. Put a dragonfly here, giving myself a challenge today. But as you can probably tell, this is not a dragonfly with a long body sticking out, because the angle that it is at doesn't allow for that. It's flying toward the water instead of flying above it. Well, I mean, it is flying above it, but you get my point. Perspective ways. Figure out all those details later. And what should I put behind here? Probably something fluffy. I want the floof! You can't handle the floof! Truthfully, drawing fluffy things in any program is kind of difficult, so I'm giving myself a challenge. By the way, none of this stuff is supposed to be realistic, except the grass itself. So if this looks like something completely random and pointless, it is. When I said I was blowing off steam today, I really meant it. But sometimes blowing off steam for me means being as silly as possible. gonna give this guy a little bubble. He'll probably be saying, "I do declare." I don't know why he should have a British accent, but hey. This is probably the absolutely most random and pointless scene I have ever drawn. Now what should I put behind here? I'm not actually decided on that yet. Going to make this a picnic of some sort going on behind here. Music is really nice, by the way. I like it. Now again, for some pointlessness, I'm going to put some ice sticking out from here. Just absolutely random and pointless today. Snake sticking out from here. I find sometimes this calligraphic tool doesn't like to actually do anything, and for that you have to zoom in. I'm not sure if it's a pressure issue or what it is. Nice to hear some Indian music on here, by the way. I have no clue if I have any Indian blood in me, but I love Indian music. And just like that, it's done. Let me put some footprints here. With this kind of music, now I feel like doing my movie voice again.
Two brothers will discover.
Maybe, what if the two of these are brothers? mean, this is absolutely so random and so pointless. Okay, there we go. Now let me start actually adding some objects to this scene and building it. Oops. So the first thing I'm going to do is build the general background, which will be the ground and this pond. So I'm going to create a rectangle, put it to the size of the canvas, center it, change the color. Don't panic, that's not final. Okay, Inkscape, we don't need your bugs today. Never mind that, I'm a bit of an entomologist myself. I should probably do that in a little bit more of a sinister voice, seeing as that line is a riff on what's his name? That guy from the first Spider-Man movie. Forgot his name. Oh yeah, Norman Osborn. Alright, so I just created another rectangle and turned it into a path. And now I'm going to just drag these points into place. I may need to add some points as I go. I thought I turned off snapping. It would be really cool if there was a way to design without points, because then I could say that this pointless scene is pointless. Nobody kick me for that, please. I mean, technically, they're called nodes, so I could claim that this scene is pointless. Obviously, that's not the final color that we're going to use here, but it kind of gives us an idea of where things are supposed to go. So yeah, I'm going to leave it for now, and I'm just going to add another blue. Right, there we go. All that will be sorted eventually. So the next thing I'm going to add is this picnic blanket. Oops, wrong layer selected. one of the things I really love about designing in Vector is that you're not actually required to paint everything. You can just create primitives, kind of like if you're doing 3D, and then you can move some points around, put things in place, and there you go. I still love painting, by the way, because that's where I got started. I mean, that's pretty much where all of us start. Painting our parents' walls, and, you know, eventually move on to crayons, and then you scribble on the wall. And sometimes you use other things, but I won't say what those other things are. You can figure that out for yourself. And eventually then you move on to scribbling on paper, and then you probably start drawing, you know, little things here and there like your family, etc. And eventually you move on to, you know, Legos, etc., etc. And that's how you learn art, right? So this is kind of like coming full circle. And painting is as well, because, you know, painting is like just a highly evolved version of scribbling on your parents' walls. Some people never move past that stage. I mean, I'm not really sure why it's a problem, because it's art. I'm kidding. So for all of you children watching, do not scribble on your parents' walls. Do it on the floor. And now we wait for everyone to wonder when I'm gonna actually clear that up. I'm not. No, just a small thing. If you're wondering why I am putting this here behind the grass, even though grass is eventually going to go there, it's because not all of it is going to be covered. So realistically, the wisest thing to do is to fill in whatever is going to be here, so that when you then build the grass on top of it, that it still looks a little more like the real thing, you know, like stuff is showing through it. You don't have any missing pieces. Small side note, I find it interesting listening to myself on the stream while I'm talking, which I'm actually doing. I can hear myself talking, and it is like if I'm hearing two different people, because how you sound in your head and how you sound to other people is so different. Good thing that we don't have like a totally different accent and everything when we're talking, because good lord, that would be crazy. Seriously, that music was just really not fitting. I just had a funny thought. I'm gonna add this in. This is actually a troll station reference that I'm about to add. So there's this skit they did where they pretend to have cocaine in public, and one of the guys, my favorite guy in the team, Nathan, he goes into this restaurant and pretends to be talking to his dealer, whose name's Sosa, ironically, and he basically is shouting and screaming and acting like he's going nuts, and then all of a sudden his girlfriend calls and he just stops in the middle of it and goes, "Hey, yo, babe, what's for dinner? Spaghetti bolognese. Alright, I'll be there." And then he's back to shouting again. So I'm gonna I'm gonna drop that in here. I can't wait to use this line in real life, by the way, because I'm gonna say it the same way every time. I was just talking and forgot my mic was muted. Let me actually Google the spelling for this thing because I have no clue how to spell it. Oh, there it is. I've heard it for years and never actually knew it was so simple. I don't mean spaghetti, baby. I mean bolognese. I thought it was some kind of weird spelling, you know, like how pizza sounds like it has two T's in it and it has none. It's also like how pizza sounds like it has pineapple on it, and some people think it has none, but it does. If you're on Twitter, by the way, and you know about my pineapple feud with Rick Hunter, just let him know that pineapple goes on pizza. It's like a rule. Actually, history lesson. Not many people know this, but the first people to use pizza put pineapples on it, and then some imposters came along and started using it without pineapples, and they killed everyone who put pineapples on their pizza, and that's how we got this lie that pizza is supposed to go without pineapples. I'm making all this stuff up. It's absolute nonsense, but yeah. But then again, I said it on the internet, so it is true. Wouldn't it be funny if that worked for everything? Like, I could just say, hey, I'm rich. I'd be rich because I said it on the internet. That's kind of like how social media influencers work. They just get on the internet and say, hey, I'm rich. And everyone goes, oh yeah, he's rich, give him money. I never understood that, by the way. Why do we act like that as human beings? If somebody's rich, we give them money, and if they're poor, we act like they don't deserve it. Should be the other way around, but whatever. It's kind of funny too, because we built that into our algorithms on like social media platforms and all that. If you get more views, you get more views. If you get fewer views, you get fewer views. But the catch in that is that basically either you pay for it or you just, you know, like run across it by a fluke. But that kind of defeats the whole point of organic growth. I'm getting all philosophical here, forgive me. I thought I turned this into a corner, apparently I didn't. Tell me something, do y'all know anyone else who puts so much effort into absolute randomness? Oh wait, I just learned something, that's so cool. Let me see if I can get that to... Wait, no it didn't. So I'm not sure what I just did, but somehow I was able to select all those points with my mouse wheel, but now I can't seem to replicate it. Interesting. I'll have to look that up because somehow when I was trying to zoom out, I just selected everything here by accident. I've been using Inkscape for years and that has never happened. So either that was a bug or that's a feature that I never knew was there. Or maybe it's a creature and not a bug. For those of you who don't get that one, by the way, that's a very layered joke that probably only I will get. But basically what it means is, or what it's based on, is the fact that the first bug was a moth, and moths are not bugs technically, because bugs are actually an order of insects called Hemiptera, and moths are members of Lepidoptera, so they're not really bugs. So we computer programmers are actually wrong when we say that something's a bug, because they're not bugs, they're errors or problems or something else. Or we should be calling our bugs moths, but we don't do that. Then again, haven't you ever realized how many problems moths cause, apart from eating your clothes in very rare occasions? Like when you turn on the light, moths just make themselves as obnoxious as possible. And I mean, I love moths, right? They're really cool animals, but why are they so annoying? I hope none of my entomologist friends on Twitter are watching, because I just got myself in trouble. Oops. I'm thinking I may actually pause working on this scene and do some naturalist sketches. As I told you, this is a freestyle day. I'm just doing whatever comes to mind, whatever I feel like. Just having some fun with this. If you learn something, that's cool, and if you don't, well, no big deal. But probably what you did learn is just how random I can be. Oh, let me show y'all a feature in Inkscape that's really cool. But it's technically not a feature in Inkscape. It's just one of my abilities because I'm actually Kryptonian. Watch this. So this is called X-ray mode, and you can actually look inside of your objects. Oops. I just somehow turned it off, did I? Yeah. So what you're actually seeing here is my X-ray vision, but Inkscape pretends that it's a feature. And this is actually pretty useful and pretty cool because it allows me to basically see behind the scenes even as I'm adding the colored objects to it. I'll get the fluffiness on this guy later. I was saying I was gonna do a naturalist sketch, but come to think of it, instead I'm gonna do some sketches for my Redbubble store. By the way, if you don't know, I do have a Redbubble store and I do have some actually useful and cool stuff on there. So if you want, you can go and check that out. It's the same handle that I use on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and everything else. That's Rolandixor, ROLANDIXOR. You can check that out on Redbubble, and you can also check my Teespring store. I should have those links on my channel. Alright, I'm going to save this scene and probably come back to this on another stream when I am feeling just as random. How are they going to the edit menu? I was so confused just now. I was absolutely lost as to what was happening there. We're gonna call this Pond of Life. Like the most random thing you can get. Now, one of the things that you should know about Inkscape that's pretty cool is that you can actually create templates directly from within the program. You couldn't do that in the past, at least not to my memory, so I think this is probably a relatively new feature, probably since version 1. I would have to double check that, but you can save your files as a template. So like I could actually build an entire scene and save as a template, so the next time I need to work on something similar I could come back to that. So like the Humanality project that I've been working on, I can save all of those as templates, and then when I come to create, go to new from template, and I can search or I can scroll and I can create from any of those templates. So I actually do have a Redbubble item saved with the correct dimensions and everything, and I can create a new Redbubble item without having to go through all that trouble. So I'm going to create something kind of cartoonish, I think. I covet your suggestions too, so if you're there and you want to drop some suggestions in the chat, stuff that you want to see, stuff you want to buy, you can let me know. Doing some random freestyle today. There is absolutely no point to any of this. Gave me an idea, not that song, I mean that mistake I just made. I'm not sure how many of you remember that movie called Evolution, but I'm about to create something similar. If you've been watching the Humanality project, you should know what I'm doing here. Using some similar objects to give me some design consistency and commonality.
For those who
actually going to turn this guy into kind of a barrel. I've been learning some new techniques on my own as well in the behind the scenes side of things. So you can look out for some new tutorials and some new streams. I'm going to be giving you some new techniques that you can use to create some pretty cool stuff. Like a snail that I did last night. I was just playing around in Escape and found a new way to create a new kind of object. So look out for that tutorial probably within a couple of weeks or so. You can check out the first tutorial that I uploaded on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RolandDixor, ROLANDIXOR, as usual. Yeah, so you can check out the tutorial that I put up on there. It's a very simple one, creating a pencil in Inkscape. Pretty quick, pretty easy, pretty simple. I hope you enjoy it, and you can let me know what you want to see in future tutorials. Oops, forgot to lock resizing. Group these actually and move them back. I hope this isn't scary. It's just meant to be totally random, not scary. That actually looks better than before, so now he looks a little less sinister. Oh, sorry folks, I didn't realize the music was done. So let me just change that a second. I'll be right back. I did promise some voice impressions, but I only did a few so far. I probably should have done more, shouldn't I? See, it's just that I'm not quite sure which ones I want to do right now. And y'all ain't talking to me, so I don't know what to do. I think I know what to do with y'all. See, now you listen here, boy. What I need you to do for me is shine them shoes real good. Oops, wrong move. Much better. If you're wondering why Inkscape sometimes pops up the preferences dialog, that's actually a bug, a known bug that has been fixed in newer versions. I've been following development, so that's why I know that. That's just for those of you who be wondering, how you know all that? Not use a shadow because I just remembered if I turn this into a sticker, shadows would cause a bit of a problem. Let me give him a nice stem. It's not visible. Ah, that's why. like to add a nice message with my design sometimes. Alright, after this I'm going to add some color options. I'm going to move this stuff to some layers. So. The reason I split everything up into layers just now so it's easier to work with, so I can just select what it is that I'm trying to change and change it pretty quickly. Again, I'm going to use a technique that I would have used in the Humanality project, which is I'm going to duplicate this design partially and I'm going to make an iteration of it. Join these two together, move this downward. To use to move this on one axis. Right, there we go. That's how you do it. So you hold control and then you move the mouse and you can move it on the X or Y axis depending on which direction you're moving your mouse in. That looks so absolutely random. I love it. Welcome to my weird and wacky world where nothing makes sense, but it's done for fun. This just looks so funny, I'm sorry. How about if I turn this into a frog? This is so random. I hope you're still picking up something from this though, because even though I'm doing absolute randomness for fun, it should actually be able to show you just how easy it is to turn your randomness into designs, and then you can take that and make it into something useful that you could make money off of this. Stick this on a store, sell it as stickers or whatever, and there you go. By the way, sorry for that noise you were hearing in the background. It should be gone by now. There we go. That's nice and cute. Let's give him some fingers. If any of my fellow countrymen ask me, so my man, what's your secret? I can tell them, well, I don't have one. That's my secret. Total randomness. Oops, forgot to group him. Oops, I didn't mean to close that. to draw that line over there. If you can afford it, by the way, invest in a graphics tablet. Comes in extremely handy when you're doing stuff like this. Drawing with the mouse is just not the same thing. Alright, I think that's practically it. So I'm gonna just export this, probably drop a couple more options on it, but you can find this stuff on my Redbubble store and my Teespring store. Links will be on my channel, and I'll be posting them on Twitter as well if you want to grab this stuff. I wasn't planning to create anything to sell, but hey, you never know when you're doing random stuff on a stream, right? So yeah, y'all can find that stuff out there. You can follow me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, not Facebook, because I'm not really on Facebook that often, but yeah, you can follow me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, same handle. And you can find my next stream next week, Thursday, definitely. But I'm not sure. I may stream some of the day during the week, depending on my workload and depending on my mood and all that stuff. Look out for some more of the Humanality project coming out soon. And I also want to start doing some website templates on stream. I'm going to both be designing from scratch, so like designing the actual template in Inkscape and then designing actual websites based on templates on stream, you know, like coding them and everything. So if you want, you can actually send me your suggestions, because I want to challenge myself a bit, and that may require me to actually step out of my comfort zone by letting some other people send me stuff instead of me coming up with everything. So until next time, just remember that I am Batman, and make sure that you follow me and catch up on my future streams. Alright, see you next time, everyone. I'm out.